Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how you can prepare your AI art as a digital file for Etsy. As you know, in Etsy we are allowed to sell our digital products as printable and it's going to appear on this printables section. Nowadays there are a lot of platforms that allows you to create an AI image and you can actually sell those AI image by uploading to Etsy. But the tricky part is that sometimes when you try to sell your digital files, you will have to make sure that your files are adjustable to several ratios. For example, this printable right here offers a selections of sizes and measurement that the customers can choose. So this is the part where sometimes people are confused of. Sometimes they don't know how they can resize their digital art. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can change the ratio of your art and resize it to different ratio. If you are still unfamiliar with ratios and their measurements, what you can do is that you can try and find other digital products or printables on Etsy and scroll down on their description, and then you will see some examples of the ratio that are mainly used on digital product. Now this is the platform that we're going to use to resize our digital art. Usually I will use Photoshop to resize my AI art, but because you have to pay to use Photoshop, Photopea actually is a great alternative if you want to use a free version of Photoshop. Once you click on create a new project, you can see on the bottom left of your screen there are several references to different ratios such as Facebook page cover, Facebook event image, etc. But today I'm going to show you how to resize an AI art with two different ratio. The first ratio that I'm going to use is the 2:3 ratio. And as you can see, you can also insert your width and height manually. You can also change the measurement, whether it's in inches, millimeters, centimeters, pixels, etc. But if you don't really know what are the measurements for a certain ratio that you are trying to use, here are some of the alternatives that you can do beside trying to find an example on Etsy. The first one is by using the picture ratio calculator or aspect ratio calculator. Search it on Google's and then you can use a calculator such as this one. As you can see in the drop-down menu, there are several templates that you can click on, and then the calculator are going to show you the pixels of that specific template. For example, if you click on the 4:3 ratio, the calculator are going to tell you the pixel width as well as the pixel height that you can use for this ratio. And then you can use the pixels measurement on Photopea and insert those numbers. So these platforms actually have a aspect ratio table, so you can also use this as your guidance. For example, it shows us the Instagram story sizes, Instagram post size, Instagram reel size, etc. It gives us the ratio of each things as well as the pixels measurements of each things. Like I told you earlier, you can also use other products on Etsy as reference. The good part about this one is that usually if you look at the examples on Etsy, they actually tells you the inches of each sizes. So if you like inches measurements better than pixels, you can use this method on trying to find out what is the measurement for your ratio instead. Alright, now let's go back to Photopea. So the first ratio that we're going to work with, like I said before, is going to be the 2:3 ratio. And for the width and height, I'm going to insert 20:30, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on create. I think about Photopea is that sometimes it could lag quite a lot, but it's totally fine. It's probably just because this platform is quite heavy on itself. So if you feel like it is quite heavy, don't worry about it and just continue working because that's just how it is. Now I'm going to insert one of my AI art by simply clicking it from the folder and dragging it to Photopea. And as you can see, the art are going to appear in the middle of our working page, and then you can click it to move it around. And to resize it, you can go ahead and click on one of the little square on the edges of the picture. So the AI art that I originally choose have the size of 1 by 1. As you can see, there is a lot of white space that we will have to fill. So to fill it in, there is two things that we can do. The first one is by simply dragging on the little square on the edge of the picture. And as you can see, the picture is filling all of the pages, and then you can also just drag it around and adjust it to however you like. But the downside of this method is that it's going to enlarge our AI image and it's going to make some part of the pictures to be cropped. Another way that we can do to resize our AI art is by holding Shift on your keyboard while clicking on the tiny squares on the edges of our AI pictures. And what it does is that not only it's going to make it larger or smaller, but it's also going to stretch the pictures. So usually what I like to do to resize my files is by combining that two method that I just explained. Instead of just enlarging the pictures, I like to stretch it out a little bit, and I'm going to try and fill in the white pages by combining the stretching out as well as the zooming out or the enlarging of the picture. Now this combined method obviously takes quite some time, but we will want to resize our AI image as closely as the original as possible so that when it is being printed and the customer receive it, they doesn't feel like they're being scammed. And now I'm going to try and take the pictures, the original one and the resized one side by side. And you can see that these two pictures doesn't look too different. It still look quite similar with the first one. It does have some of the part of it being cropped, but the cropped image is not as much as if we just use one of the method, and these pictures doesn't even look like it's being stretched too much. Alright, now I'm going to tell you that I had an experience with Photopea where while I was working on my digital art, Photopea suddenly crashes. So to avoid that, what you're going to do is that every time you're done editing something, you're going to want to save it. And to save your pictures, what you're going to do is that you're going to click on this file menu, click export as, and then you can save it to whatever it is that you want. But for Etsy, you would want to click on JPG and make sure that the quality bar is all the way to 100%. So you can see before I adjusted to 100%, the quality bar was on 70%. Make sure you pay attention to that and then you can click export. Now that we finished with the first template, I'm going to go ahead and go to the second one. To open a new file, you can just go ahead and click on Files and then click New Project, and then you can start and work on a new ratio from there. The next ratio that I'm going to use as an example is a 4:5 ratio. And for the inches size, I'm going to insert 8 for my width and 10 for my height. Another thing that you can see in Photopea is that once you entered a ratio measurement, Photopea is going to show you some templates of a pictures that you can use probably for your design or something else on the right side of the screen. And this is how the 4:5 ratio looks like. And the AI art that I'm going to adjust for now is the one with the ratio of 3:4. Now notice that the art that I'm going to adjust have white background to it. Having a white background AI art is actually a very helpful thing to do because as you can see, I don't really have to adjust anything since the background of my working page is actually white too. But if you still want to try and resize it so that it doesn't have too much of side spaces, you can go ahead and use the exact same combined method that I told you earlier. If you have a white background for your AI art, it's also going to make it easier for you to erase the background so that you can use the main object on different background. You can erase your background manually by using the background eraser over here, or you can also make it easier by using the magic eraser, and it's going to remove all of the white background from your main object. You do have to keep in mind that this background eraser works the best if your background is just one solid color. If it's white, black, or any solid color, then make it easier for the AI to read and erase it. In Photopea, you can also copy a layer from another working page, and you can do that by simply clicking on the layer that you would want to insert on the other page and then drag it to the other page. And as you can see, I am combining the first art that I resized to this one, and then I'm just going to go ahead and resize the pictures again so that it's going to fit on the 4:5 ratio. And that is how you can prepare your AI art as a digital files for Etsy. You can try and resize your AI art to several different ratio. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.